Good morning, USA.
Hello, hello. Welcome back.
What's up, guys?
Good.
How you guys doing?
Good.
Pretty good, pretty good.
How was your weekend?
It was good.
It was good. I was in
I was,
Baltimore.
Yeah, I was just plotting on all the content we gonna make.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, so we got a competition of see who not for skin in the game, but separate on who makes the most content.
Valuable content.
Valuable content.
Not just
So it can't be no BS content, right?
Yeah. I can't. It has
Well,
to be
yeah, it
creative.
has to go in line with our page, our brand, those things.
It has to be creative.
Creative too. Like I like hers
With
She
the dog?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with the dog. I liked hers with the dog, and also the one that I edited was good.
Yeah.
You know, you did good. I feel like I should have cut out the second. Did you know? But then it was gonna be too short. But then I'm like, nah, let's leave it like that.
I like the
Man,
little
stop
ding,
overthinking.
Ding.
Yeah, I was like, what is that?
It was
I thought it was
loud, but
sound was going
Yeah.
on
gets your
outside.
attention.
Get your attention.
Yeah.
I thought about putting the volume down, but then I was like, then it's not gonna be like.
Llamativo.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. What is it called?
Like,
Sound effect.
Oh, okay.
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a brain thing. Once you hear that,
Ding.
Yeah.
an anchor. It's an anchor.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good. I'm
So
excited for that.
we're gonna see who wins, and losers gotta pay for the winner's massage, right?
Yeah.
Her idea.
I'm down for that.
Who doesn't like massages?
I need one. I haven't got
I need to
one
go
in
to
a
the
minute.
chiropractor, so y'all can pay for my chiropractor.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's I'm down for that.
When's the deadline? Sunday?
Do you guys want to do
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
OMG.
Oh.
Let's see who got skin in
That's
the
long
game.
term.
Yeah.
No,
Who's got
that's
endurance.
yeah, that's endurance right there.
Yeah.
Hopefully we create a habit and then we just become awesome posters.
We were doing that for a minute.
Yeah.
We just gotta get back on it.
We'll see.
Let's get it. I'm down. I'm excited. I need it. I needed that. So
And if y'all needed me
That
to
was
edit
Oscar's
something,
idea.
I'll edit something.
Huh?
I'll edit something. Like, you know what I mean?
of course, bro. that's where we going.
Yeah, let's do it then.
Yeah, let's do it.
Y'all better like and comment.
Support.
But yeah, so what's the topics for today?
One of them is ego.
Ego.
Yeah.
You want to get right to it?
Sure. Ego in the sense of what is the ego? Is ego good or bad? How is your ego useful? How is it not? And
Yeah.
whatever other aspects you guys come up with that I didn't come up with.
Okay. Okay, so I guess everybody's looking at me, so I guess
Eh.
I'll start.
Let's start with the guy with the biggest ego.
Not really. Bro, you didn't know me 5 years ago.
Nah, I know.
Yeah, you didn't know, and this is nothing, man. This
Can
is
you give
nothing.
us a throwback Thursday of not like do it like an acting version of your old self if you were to be coming up in
Oh,
here.
okay.
Yeah.
So, you know how sometimes people are so pretty big on, even our families. My mom was huge when it came down to degrees and, you know, going to college and all that. So she always used to like push that on me, and then I kind of felt self-conscious about it. And then I didn't understand the concept of networking. So let's say I'll go out to DC and people would be like, what do you do? And I felt self-conscious about it because of, you know, that's not something that I was too proud of, you know. And I'll be like, I'm in car sales. And they'll be like, oh, you know, I'm a doctor, or I do this and I do that, or, you know, whatever. You know, I work for this company, or and you know, corporate America. And then I'll be like, okay, how much you make? Straight
This
up.
is a rude question.
Yeah,
But that's
You would
That's
say that?
DC.
Or-
yeah, I would say that. How much you make? Oh, you're so and so. Okay, cool. How much do you make? And then I'll be like, they'll tell me, they'll feel all uncomfortable. I was like, so tell me, how much you make? What's your, you know, after how much you make before and after taxes? And they'll feel real uncomfortable. Some people will say it, some people won't. And the ones that would, I'll be like, so how does it make you feel that guy that dropped out of college is a car salesman and is an immigrant, makes more money than you? Boom, and I'll show them like my check. I used to be. Yeah, I
Damn,
was.
What a
that's
douchebag.
I was-
reflecting like a motherflower.
Yeah, I was rough, man. I was rough.
And was it, you think that was your insecurities?
Yeah, it's insecurities. You know, or I would drive my Mustang. I had a 15 Mustang. Was it 15 or 16? 15 was, yeah, but it was like the souped up, like with the Recaro seats, with the racing seats, and it was all black. Wheels, tents, interior. The car was black, and it was super loud and obnoxious, and I would blast music through that joint. And I'll tell you some more stories, things that I used to do in the city in that car. Not here. A little incriminating, but yeah, man, I had a huge ego. And I used to get confused between, and when we were having this conversation the other day, talking about this, you know, you said something that I disagree. And you said that there's good ego and bad ego. So there's a difference between, from my humble opinion, there's ego and there's confidence. And there's two things, two different things.
So what did I say exactly?
That there's good ego and bad ego.
But
Ego-
your ego doesn't go away because your ego is your personality in this reality.
Being
So that's what it's called, your ego.
being egotistical is not a good thing.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
When you're, but having an ego is just part of life in the matrix.
Break it down for me.
So your ego is your personality here, and it gets built as you know, from the time you're born to whatever, the time you die, that's your avatar, your character, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So whether you are a well-spoken person who has manners, that is still your personality, your ego. Now, ego has a negative connotation to it because
Yeah.
people they can be egotistical. So then there's the bad side of it, but there's also good sides to it.
Did you guys by any chance YouTube it or no? I mean YouTube it. Like looked up the actual definition of ego?
I don't know. Let's look it up right now.
Yeah. So go ahead. So keep breaking it down for me.
So for example, when you look at celebrities, they are very much in
Ooh.
tune to their ego, right?
You know what? Go ahead.
No, tell me.
You're right. So based on the actual definition of ego is a person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance, a boost to my ego. So you're right.
Well, my ego doesn't need to be right.
Oh.
Because I know I am.
Oh, I forgot that women are always right.
Hey, I didn't say it. It's been around for a long time. I didn't invent
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I agreed with you. Remember, I was like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, so what I was saying about celebrities, I like to use celebrities as an example because a lot of people like celebrities, right? And a lot of people follow celebrities and their lifestyle and all that. So if you want to be somebody that makes a change in this world, you got to be bold. You
True.
got to allow your ego to flourish, right? But you can't allow your ego to hurt you, where you can just be
You
maybe
have to control your ego. Is that what you're saying?
I think control may not be the best word I would use. I would say you have to really get to know who you are deeply so that you're able to use different tools from your personality, right? Because if you don't really know yourself, then your ego's kind of taking control over you and you're, it's in the driver's seat and you're just like a victim to it in a sense.
So would you say evolve your ego?
So, for example, you have done a lot of work with your ego, right? You've taught it different
little bit
things.
sometimes.
You've read things because
Yeah.
our brain is like a computer, right? And whatever we decide to, whatever software we decide to download is what our computer is going to be useful for. So if we decide to, think, download egotistical things, and really that comes from a hurt place.
Yeah.
If you feel like you really have to have this shield, it's really hurt.
Yeah.
So if you get to know your ego and you get to know yourself in the dark times and you're like, oh man, why, like for example, me, why did I get bothered by this? Then I realize, oh, my ego is hurt here for some kind of reason.
Yeah.
So once you lean into that and you realize, okay, then you have more power within yourself.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So, back to the celebrity thing, when people are really attracted to confidence. And they really like a person who is just themselves. And we've seen that with social media, right? We've seen how people are influencers and they're this and they're that. But if they were to be all reserved and like
Yeah.
humble, how the word is not used appropriately,
Yeah.
really just kind of, it's okay, then you're not going to make a huge impact in this world.
Yeah.
But you see people that are not afraid to hurt people's feelings, say what they got to say the uncomfortable stuff. They're
Mhm.
allowing their ego to be who they really want to be, that personality, that archetype that is, hey, this is what I have to say. I'm not going to hold back. It is what it is.
It's kind of like Andy Frisella.
Yeah.
Like I think he's a man with a big ego. I do.
Yeah. He is.
You know what I'm saying? But he's one of the most successful people out there too.
And he's also humble though.
Yeah, he's humble too. He's not like, oh, I'm rich, F
Yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of is, but in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think the people who have an issue with that are not yet tapped into their potential because they're afraid to ruffle feathers.
I guess when people talk about ego, they're talking about like the basics of the ego, like, oh, I drive a Mustang, I ain't downsizing, I'm only upsizing. Like, like looking at other people that don't have their types, of their vehicles, like, oh, you're less than me.
Yeah. It's
Like
kind of limited thinking.
That's the ego that is a negative ego.
Yeah. So I would say I'm coming to this realization that having worked on your ego in a healthy way, you can be like Gary Vee and be like, you know what, motherfuckers, y'all need to go and do this, blah, 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 whatever he says, all that stuff. And a lot of people have said to him, you can't do that. You can't be dropping F-bombs everywhere. You can't be yourself, essentially.
Yeah.
But he was like, no, I'm going to be my motherfucking self. And look at him.
Well, I feel like when it comes down to that, yes, he can be himself, but sometimes
He brings value, though. He's not just like un loudmouth.
yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, I guess when it comes down to that, we gotta ask ourselves is what we need to ask ourselves is, okay, do you want to attract more people or less people by being you?
I think by being you attract your people.
True.
And it depends what you are at that time.
What about
'Cause
go ahead.
Because you have, in your entire lifetime, if you're wise, you're able to be many people, not just the same person.
Right. What about diplomacy?
Well, you can be yourself and not be rude, but if you have to let some people know a little bit about themselves, it is what it is. You can't always be too safe or too politically correct and too this, because then you're just living life for other people, not for yourself.
Not too. I'm not saying too much into it, but what I'm saying is that I feel like sometimes there's ways to say things, because if I say something to you in a certain way, you automatically will react, and you would feel attacked. I feel like at the end of the day, yes, it's important to keep it real. It's important to, just be yourself. But at the same time, you can be smart or you can be wise.
But you can still be yourself and be well spoken.
Absolutely.
You know?
That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that for me, the trick is to be well spoken, be myself, but be well spoken, and know how to say things, and be very, not
Calculated?
be very calculated.
I can
I think
use
being
I can use
calculated-
myself as an example. I've watched what I say sometimes, a lot of times, but when I'm around people that I love and that I consider myself friends with, I'm myself.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I be dropping. You hear me in this house?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
drop
of
F
course.
bombs, B bombs,
Yeah.
shit bombs all the time. Like, you know what I mean? But when I'm around other people or in public,
Yeah.
I definitely kind of like retract myself a little.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't show all of your personality.
hmm
You don't show all of your ego.
I don't know if it's because I'm shelled, because I'm watching what I say. I don't know. You know, but it might be that I'm watching my ego.
And that's okay because we have to sometimes measure ourselves, you know. But then again, you got to ask yourself, what kind of impact do you want to make in this world?
Mhm.
And based off of that, move accordingly.
And also that might be hindering me because I'm definitely probably one of the guys that nobody remembers because I'm not being myself.
That part. Because if you say something offensive to one person, maybe 100 people are going to be like, that's a real motherfucker right there.
Mhm.
It's up to you to know your truth.
I guess life is just one big old experiment, huh?
Yes,
It is.
Yes,
It is.
And
And
you
we-
can have multiple experiments.
And we talked about this. Remember, I was like, you said it yourself, bro. I need to say more. You know what I mean? Because sometimes you just reserve and watching. Maybe that's from your experiences. You're kind of like, okay. Maybe before you were too like rough, and then now you're more on the reserve side. What do you think that is?
Yeah,
maybe?
definitely. Because I remember 10 years ago, I was like, yo, can't no motherfucker say nothing to me.
Yeah,
I am who I am.
yeah,
That's it. And then I went and transitioned to, you know, like,
Hello, sir.
we have to respect all women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
stuff like that,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And be more like, but then, right now I think I'm in the stage of, okay, you have to be assertive, not aggressive, not passive. You
Yeah.
gotta be assertive.
Which is
yeah.
good.
So when I was younger, a lot of people like my personality, right? I always got like compliments on my personality, even over my looks. But I was also really ruthless as well. I didn't give a F about anybody. I was like, da, 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 da. And then I went through a period where I totally didn't even know who I was. I was just so different. And now I feel like I'm coming out of that like timid area and I'm finding the sweet spot, like you're saying, where I need to be who I am, strong and boldly, but not just be reckless with my words. Because that's not really going to get me far. You know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah,
attention, but not going to get me where I want to go. So that's part of the journey, is to figure out the things that go in line with whatever your purpose is.
Yeah.
And sometimes your purpose looks weird and looks
Yeah.
unconventional, and that's okay, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I have a friend. He told me one time that he feels that I sent him a Patrick Bet-David. You know what I'm talking about? A Patrick Bet-David video. And he said Patrick Bet-David was pretty much talking about you have to duplicate and also you have to I guess mimic the people that you look up to. You know what I'm saying? Be yourself, but at the same time do what they're doing.
Yeah, like certain traits and
Yeah, and then my
characteristics.
friend was like, "Yeah, but that's being fake. That's not being you."
But he hasn't even tried it to know if it's going to work or not.
Yeah, but how do you evolve if you don't do that? Everybody mimics somebody. I mimic my dad when I was a kid. I'm sure Bella and Nina mimic me.
I mean, that is literally the way kids grow up,
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
seeing their parents. And you see,
whoever they look up to.
yeah, like artists, they're like, oh, who's your inspiration? Oh, they'll be like Jimi Hendrix or this and this. Some people don't have, but somebody has like some kind of baseline of some an inspirational.
Would you say that's
Mentor.
him, like, not letting his ego do it?
Yes.
I think his ego's holding him back in fear.
Yes.
I think we all do that all the time, but we don't really notice it.
Yes.
We do that all the time, and our ego is so prevalent in our everyday life when it's like, sometimes with Oscar, I hear certain things, and I'm like, that's his ego protecting him from something. And sometimes ego doesn't look like, oh, I'm a tough guy. Sometimes ego looks like, no, don't say that right now. It's not gonna look good. You're not gonna look good. I'm not gonna look good next to you. But it is
Yeah.
what it is. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yes, I do that because I like my identity to be a certain thing at a certain level. And if I'm gonna be around somebody, I want that person to respect my identity. Otherwise, don't be around me.
And that's an ego is your identity.
So
So
that is your ego.
that's the respect that I have for me. I want people to view me in a certain way, and that's my identity. And I want to be like that too. Obviously, there's time and place for everything, absolutely. But there's times that I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that around me. When you're with me, don't do that. Or if it keeps happening, yeah, I'm sorry. And that's definitely ego because I remember when I when I started in PHP and I went to my first big event and people would be like, "Oh my God, it's Chris Hart. Oh my God, it's Gaetan. Oh my God, it's Graziani." And I'm like, "That's just a dude, bro. Why am I gonna run over there and like ask him questions?" That was my ego. Versus me thinking like, "Yo, that man, they're all just like us, started just like us. I can go ask him a question that can help me." But I didn't see it that way. I saw it as like, I'm not gonna go. That's just another dude. Why am I gonna go over there? So I feel where your friend came from with that, because I was like that too. And I'm like, I'm not, you know. There's people that even dress like their coach, similar styles. And I used
I
to,
seen that.
yeah. And I'm like, before I used to be like, nah, bro. But man, like I was watching that video that I sent you guys, and I watched another one after, and Patrick said, peer pressure can be a great thing around the right people. So if you're literally copying somebody, a lot of things how they are, eventually, if you want to be where they are, you'll get there.
Yeah, like people who want to be billionaires. Who do they have as mentors? Who do they have as inspirations? Other billionaires.
Yeah.
So it makes sense
Yeah.
to a certain degree, but don't lose yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I get it though. But that was my ego saying, "Yo, that's foolish," which is not. That person really, really wants to change and want to be like that other person and have their lifestyle. So, hey man, at the end of the day, there's people that act like some dumb people on the internet and the Kardashians and all that stuff, and they act and talk like that. Why not mimic someone that's doing well
What
and dress like that? And you know what I mean?
Well, to them, they might think that Kim Kardashian is a very brilliant businesswoman, and she actually is. She really is. She has a lot of influence in the entire world. She really does. Granted, she used, what's the word I want to use?
Unorthodox.
She used human behavior, not human behavior, but human nature in very strategic ways.
Yeah.
It's the truth. We can't be mad at it.
I'm not mad at it.
But for ego, what I have noticed is if you really pay attention, anytime that your ego says something to you, holds you back in some kind of way,
Yeah.
any kind of limitation
Mhm.
is an invitation for you to shine the light on whatever that is.
And do it.
And just ask yourself a question. Why did I just say that? Why did I just think that? And I guarantee you're going to learn a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah. That too. Or just like if you feel like afraid or timid to do something, like you said, that's one way to do it. Or you could just do it and then think about it.
Yeah.
Was it really that bad? Like, okay, why did I feel like that? And then I did
Yeah.
it, and boom.
Yeah, I need to
True.
take my own advice too, because you always tell me to get uncomfortable, right?
Yeah.
And I met a friend on Sunday, because he wanted some pointers
Yeah.
on like marketing and just he's starting a power washing business,
Nice.
and he just wanted to meet up with him, and so I could see his machines and stuff to see if they were the right ones and all that, and
Yeah.
blah blah. And then I used one of your lines. I was like, you gotta get uncomfortable, bro.
Yeah.
You gotta just go out there and meet realtors and just get uncomfortable, because he's very shelled. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
he doesn't like to put himself out there like that. And I'm like, bro, but you got a business now.
Yeah.
You got to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
So I was like, yo, the real estate seminar on April 15th. I'm like, come through.
Yeah.
I'm like, go. You can probably meet a realtor too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I would give it the advice I would give on that is just do a little bit of like self-esteem exercises.
Like
Take-
what?
Like, say nice things to yourself. You could start with something-
Affirmations.
You could just say something nice to yourself. Look at
Mhm.
yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? You're crushing it. You're this. I love you. You're
Yeah.
awesome. You're a great human being. Whatever. Even if, like, the more uncomfortable you feel, the more you need it.
Yeah. Yo, let's talk a little bit about imposter syndrome, because I just did a little ding in my head.
Yeah.
Because
Fake it till you make it.
when he
No, I don't think that's the same thing.
that's not the same thing, right?
No,
I think we thought it
imposter
was
syndrome is like when you have all these good things happening to you, but you're like, how? How is this happening to me?
You
I
don't
thought I
feel
was just
worthy
like,
of it.
Oh,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, because when he called me up, and he was even paying me for my time. I told him, don't pay me.
but that's
bro.
you taking away from yourself because somebody views you in a certain light.
Yeah. So I felt like that because I was like, why is he even calling my phone? Like out of
Yeah.
everybody, he's older than me. I'm like a little dude next to him. I was like 15. He was like already 30 years old.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Not 30. My fault. If you watching this, he ain't that old. But he was like in his late 20s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then he calls me about, he wants some tips, some pointers. And
Yeah.
I felt that kind of gave me a little flashback when I was thinking like that. Not at the
Yeah.
moment, but after when I was driving home, I was like, yo, is this imposter syndrome? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you're not taking. And I've dealt with things like that where I feel, oh, I should I charge for this? Should I do this because of this? And then I'm like, well, damn. You go back and forth, but if somebody's viewing you in a certain way, you definitely are putting that forward. That is you. That is you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like a fake you.
Yeah. But one thing though, bro, I mean, you could look at it as, why would you charge the guy though? You're serving him. You're helping him out.
Yeah,
Imagine
yeah.
somebody, you would have called somebody and then they would have been like, yeah, by the way, I'm going to charge you for this. Like, nah, bro.
Yeah.
That's
I
your
don't agree
boy.
with that. I don't agree
That's
with
your
that.
boy.
I don't agree with that. I think if somebody wants to pay you for something, they value you.
Yeah.
Because I've had this conversation with somebody else, and they're like, this person is giving me their time. I'm going to pay them for their time because I want them to know that I'm taking it serious.
Well, you
And
can invite him to
everybody-
lunch.
That's your opinion. Everybody has a different thing. So I feel like if he wants to,
Yeah, I didn't charge him. I
Nobody's
was just
forcing him.
like he said. I was like, I just
You're
said,
giving back.
I
You're
just said,
giving
okay,
back to
let
the
me
world
go
what you got.
serve
It's
my
a conversation.
homeboy.
Yeah.
Let me go over there and da 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 da. And then we chopped it up for about an hour. I looked at
Yeah.
his machines, and then he told me, he was like, "Yo, I'm gonna send you something, bro. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you." Da 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 da. And I was like, "Nah, bro, you ain't even gotta do all that, bro." But then, as I was driving home, I get the Zelle text message.
Mm.
and that's because he wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wanted to.
Yeah, it wasn't
a
like,
thank
yo,
you.
I'm, you cutting for my Sunday, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
Yeah.
because your personality is not
Yeah.
like that. Because if it was like that, then you wouldn't be attracting a person that would be that grateful.
And then it even went through my head. I'm like, man, send that shit back, yo. But then I didn't. Yeah, and then I was like, you know what? He
That would be a
values
kind
my
of
time.
offensive.
Yeah.
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 So I was like, maybe I don't deserve this.
No.
Nah, bro, you deserve it. You're touching somebody's life.
No,
Yeah.
I know, but that's imposter syndrome, right?
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
feel undeserving.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you're looking at it as an imposter syndrome. I think you're looking at it more as a, bro, like, I got you, bro. Like, it was a conversation for how long? An hour?
Yeah,
With a
about an
friend of
hour.
yours?
Yeah.
It's not like some dude hits you up out of nowhere and says, "Hey, can we meet here and I got some questions for you." That's different. But as your friend, somebody that you know from back then, and they're asking you, "Hey, man," if what I would have said was, "Nah, bro, don't worry about it, but let's do lunch and we can talk more about it." But you take care of it. That's different.
Yeah.
That's your boy.
But I felt so happy because this is somebody that's been in the whole 9 to 5, 40-hour work week.
That's awesome.
Da-da-da. And then finally it's like, yo, he's really starting a business.
That's lit.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You never know who you inspire by
Yeah.
just being yourself.
Yeah.
And well, that's what he was telling me. He was like, "Man, I see you. I see my other boy. Like y'all getting it. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I just been in this rat race. Like da 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 da." And I was just talking to him like, "Yeah, man. It's like you don't have to just do that. You could do your 9 to 5. You could do your business.
Yep.
You know, you can do plenty
Something
of
else on the
things."
side. Yeah.
That's why you showing your true self, your true, ego, your personality, whatever you want to call it, is valuable. If you know what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That
and I was just
confident
like,
Toro, that person that
yeah.
I don't go.
I used to be a little too confident before, but that might have been a good thing. But a lot of people see that and be like, "Yo, why you starting a little power washing business?" You know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
Who cares what other people think?
Yeah, and
They
it-
told them that?
I'm sure a lot of people told me certain things like that too before. I'm just saying, I know there's gonna be people that think like that,
Yeah.
and I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
I do not. I've you seen the memes on Instagram, Facebook, like, yo, start a business, nobody congratulates you. You put on Facebook, I got the job. Everybody's like,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Yep.
But it just, I felt so much happiness to see this dude actually take that leap and start his own business. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up? Congratulations.
That's great, man. That's great. Now one thing that I want that we did want to mention is, are you guys? Can we move on?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Was reading books, and is perfect. The book that I read that I mentioned to you guys,
Hospitality.
Unreasonable
Based-
hospitality.
based on the conversation that we're having right now. So sometimes I feel like I've been there, that I sit down with someone and I'm just like, man, I'm tired of this. Like, can we just finish this already? Like, or I've already done business with them and they still, I'm like, this person is so annoying. Instead of like going above and beyond. And that book completely changed, like made me change the way I view things. And that's what I said, like, it's your boy, bro. Like, it's okay. You don't have to. You can be like, nah, man, just take me to lunch or whatever. And there's this restaurant in New York, and Madison Square Garden, and they started this thing that, let's say you'll come in, right? And this is a higher end restaurant. You come in, you book your reservations. You come in, and they ask you, welcome, what's your name, whatever. And they're like, okay, question, where did you park your car? And they'll tell them, well, my car is the red, blah, 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 on this block, on this side. And you sit down, whatever, you're eating. By the way, Mr. and Mrs. So-and-so, your car, you don't have to worry about the parking. We took care of it. For the next 2 hours, there's coins in there. Like going above and beyond.
Yeah, it's true.
I was
matters.
like, yo, that's crazy. And just doing little things, little tiny things.
From the heart, though. From the heart. Not expecting anything
Yeah.
in return.
Yeah. So obviously they want to take, their hospitality to the next level. Another one was crazy. So they were eating dinner, a couple, and it was their anniversary or whatever. And the wife asked the server and said, "Hey, do you know how long you can keep champagne in the freezer?" And they were like, "Well, after, I don't know, 45 minutes or an hour, that thing might pop." They were like, "Well, we got to go because we're celebrating and, I left it." And he went to tell the manager. The manager came and said, "May I have your keys, please?" They were like, "What's going on?" The manager went to their house, took the thing out so they can enjoy their dinner. On top of that, they brought some flowers. They took like a bunch of other gifts. And I was like, yo.
Can I interject real quick
Sure.
to tie in the previous topic? So this is where this man's personality is outshining, and the average person might have been like, "You're crazy. Don't do that. People are not gonna like you going to their house.
Yeah.
How dare you overstep like
Fear.
that? Blah 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 blah."
Yeah.
But he went and he did his thing, and he set a name for himself, and now he has a book and all this stuff because he stuck to his guns
Yeah.
and his personality, and we're talking about him right now.
Yeah.
And he didn't bitch out. He actually went for it.
Yeah.
Because some people would be like, yo, he's overreaching or overstepping.
Everybody has something to say about.
Well, they
stuff
could have
like
said
that.
no. That's
no,
different.
but I'm saying as he went, as he got to this level, right,
Yeah.
where he got to write a book about it and be known
Yep.
for being this kind of restaurant. You know how many people along the way were probably like, "No, this is too much. Oh no, people don't do that, especially in New York. We don't trust anybody around here." But he's like, "No, I'm gonna do what I think is best. What I know is my shit. What I'm gonna do to set myself apart."
Yeah.
It's kind of like Adam. I heard Adam tell a story. They were talking about that book, actually.
Yeah.
And he was just like that. He went to a restaurant and he wanted a Pepsi. And the guy said, I'm sorry, sir, we only sell Coke products. And he said, okay, can I just give me a water? That's fine. And then when the guy returned, he actually returned with a Pepsi. He went down the street to the corner store,
Yeah.
bought a Pepsi, and just, you know.
And really, how hard was that? Not hard.
and not hard at all. He was like, and you know what? I appreciate it so much. It wasn't even about the Pepsi. It was just more the gesture.
The
And
effort.
he'll never forget
Yeah.
that guy and
He'll
that
never-
restaurant.
Yeah, he'll never forget him. And he gave him like, I think he said a $200 tip or something.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
man.
crazy.
It's crazy because for me, I used to be like my old roommate. She'll read books, and I used to be like, so stupid, wasting your time. I swear to God, I used to think like that.
Your ego is afraid to be great.
I straight up, and I never said anything, but I was like, in my head, I'm like, that's so stupid, you're wasting your time. And maybe I said some comments, not too direct like that. Like, what are you reading? Like, what does that do for you?
What are you doing?
Yeah,
Mm.
I was that type of like, small-minded person that will say things like that and think things like that. But because of reading books, that's one of the things why my ego has changed.
Of course, yeah.
And one of the main books that I recommend you was Ego's the Enemy. That was one book that really changed my mind, my mindset, and
Great book.
just the way I am and think. And I read that book like so many times, listened to it so many times. Anytime I'll be upset about anything, I'll read that book. And it's important. If you want to grow, if you guys want to be better, want to have a business, want to change your life, want to change generational curses, gotta
Check
read
yourself.
books. You gotta read books, man. You gotta
Yeah.
read books because you're reading from another perspective, and you're grabbing wisdom from someone that's doing way
Been around
better,
the block already.
way better than you. Why not?
Yeah, that is a great book. It really is. It really it's not a big book, and every page is filled with nuggets. Every page, it's like you just have a notebook handy because you're gonna want to take notes.
Take notes.
Yeah.
You know, one book that kind of uplifts me every time, and I know it's like the cliche meme of everybody's like TikTok or whatever when they want to make fun of like an entrepreneur or whatever, or I know some women post memes about the typical rich dad poor dad guy. He's
What do those memes look like? I haven't seen them.
I haven't seen them.
I've seen them probably because the algorithms hears me talking and it
Yeah.
shows like rich dad poor dad.
Yeah.
But basically, you read the book.
Yeah.
I mean, the memes are pretty much like the average entrepreneur. The only book they ever read is Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's just like the meme. It's fun. I'll show it to you if I can find it or whatever. I'll screenshot it. But that book in particular, every time that I'm like losing
Focus.
focus or I'm going, like I don't know, like maybe a little bit of like not depression, but I'm just feeling down
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. I'll just start reading that book
Yeah.
for some reason because just the whole story behind it,
Yeah.
it's like his poor dad was actually his rich dad, and his rich dad was just he didn't have a mentality like that. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
Like his poor dad thought different.
So he was smart.
Yeah.
He was a smart person.
He wasn't rich monetary wise.
He wasn't. Yeah, the other one
You know
has
what I'm
more
saying?
wisdom.
Had
He used
more
wisdom.
And then and they both ended up, doing great with
Yeah.
their lives, but he pretty much grabbed knowledge from both of them and just
Mhm.
mashed it together.
Yeah.
And then now he's like real estate mogul.
Yeah.
He is. You know what I mean? And just the whole story behind it,
Yeah. One of the books, well, I like Wallace D. Waddles. He's old school, but classic books. The Science of Getting Rich.
Yeah, that book is.
The Science of Being Well, and The Science of, I'm drawing a blank right now. But to me, those are like Bibles.
Yeah.
Bibles.
What book is that?
I'll share it with you. Wallace D. Waddles is the author, and The Science of Being Rich, or The Science of Getting Rich, The Science of Being Well. I'm telling you, you're going to move differently.
Yeah.
It's very foundational. It's very, like, you don't really need to complicate life. You don't. So just stick to, it just explains how things work. Without it saying anything metaphysical, it just says, look, we're not going to even get into why this works. But if you just follow what this says,
The steps, the blueprint.
you will see X, Y, and Z. Because all of these founders of this country and all these people who've done a lot of business in this country, who, what you mentioned last time, the railroad system, all these people,
Yeah.
he taught them all these things of how to move how to act, be a certain way, how to think a certain way.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Think and grow rich.
yep,
It's a mindset.
yep.
But here's the thing, though. Yeah, it's the mindset. And we were having a conversation the other day, and a meeting after the meeting, and Chris was like, if you're reading one book a month, it's going to take a long time. For real. You want to be reading about 3 to 4 books a month. Like, if you really want to step your game up and just grab wisdom and just move different. And I was like, you're right, because I remember there was a time that I was
So
reading
true.
4 to 5 books a month and listening to it and reading books. I was moving different. I was moving different when I was doing 75 hard and just in general. I was intentional. We got to read, man.
It's so true. It's so true. It really is. Even if you're not reading 4 books, you feel a certain feeling once you pick up your book. And you stick to it or whatnot. And you're just like excited to talk to somebody about it.
Yep.
I see why book clubs are a thing.
If you're not reading, like, start 1. If you're reading 1, go to 2. If you read 2, go to 3. Just
Listen
read
to 'em
faster.
if you
Listen
can't read 'em.
faster. Yeah, absolutely. You know
I
what I mean?
always put mine on. I do it twice. When I hear Audible,
Oh, yeah.
I always click that joint twice.
Oh, double
it
double
goes-
time?
so it goes a little faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing I started doing too is, like, sometimes I listen to books when I'm sleeping, and then in the morning I go
Yeah.
back.
That's a hack.
Yeah.
Subconscious
And
hack.
then I'm reading, and then I'm listening to it again. So it's like consciously and subconsciously.
Yeah, it's really sticking. It's really getting in there.
Another thing that I do too is I listen to a lot of podcasts.
That's good.
A lot, like all day at work. I'm actually I'm transitioning to listening to books instead of podcasts. But
You got to do both. That's what Chris said. You want to do both.
Okay, because I never miss an episode of PBD.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
You know what I'm
He was
saying?
like, you got to do both.
Yeah.
Because sometimes books you're reading from people that they're no longer here. You know, like,
Yeah.
what's his name again?
Wallace D. Waddles.
Yeah, him.
That's my boo.
Yeah. So he's no longer here. You know, Napoleon Hill is no longer here. But other people, they're here, so you can listen to their podcasts. It's like the same thing.
Yeah. I think a good healthy balance is too, because I like
Absolutely.
comedy too. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
you gotta.
I
have
love
a little bit
mob.
Of that.
Mob stuff. That's my stuff, man.
The more you get to know yourself deeply, then all that will be easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Oh, a little sprinkle of this, a little sprinkle of that.
Yeah, I was like, the book that I just got done reading again is a piece of one of my favorite books, A Piece of Cake by Cupcake Brown. She used to be a prostitute. She used to
Really?
be crippin'.
Really?
She was in prison, and she got help to like what is it called, exonerate or whatever.
When you get rid of your record,
Yeah, yeah. And she became
expunge.
she
something?
became a lawyer, bro.
What?
Yeah, that's pretty.
She
awesome.
took the bar and everything, and she was just giving back to the community. Like
Beautiful.
that was crazy. Like I
So,
remember.
do
I
you
read
like it so much because you want to do something like that?
No, I just liked it so much because it kind of reminds me of when I was in jail. Because the
It
first time I
inspires you.
read it,
Mm-hmm.
I read it in jail. I was in the hole. I didn't have nothing to do. Never read a book in my life. That was the first book I picked up.
Really?
So it left an impression.
Yeah, that's the first book I ever picked up.
Interesting.
And it just, I remember it. And sometimes when you read books, you kind of like forget. It's kind of like
Of
when you
course.
see a
yeah,
movie.
yeah. Our brain can only retain so much.
And I just really wanted to remember that book again. So I just got the Audible and I read it all over again.
So let's talk about like how we sabotage ourselves when we're like, yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe we start a book, but then we don't finish it, or we
Mhm.
start many books and we don't finish it. I'm guilty of that. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
say I'm not. But I'm healing, guys. I'm not healed.
I think we all are.
So what do you have to say about that?
Well, it comes down to one thing that's helping me a lot is me doing that business plan and actually sticking to it, and just creating systems,
Yeah, that's very true.
just checklists.
Schedules.
Waking up in the morning, I wake up and get up, go on my desk, listen to a book, read it, do my prayers, read the Bible. Like, what's important to you? Make a system. This is what I do. I do this and that. When I do this, and then I do that, and make it a system. Do you go to work without brushing your teeth? Most people don't. Some people do. And that's their thing. It's not important to them.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's okay. I mean, it's your life. But make it a system. Wake up, take the blanket off, get up, and just systems. And it's okay. Sometimes you're going to fall off.
If like doing those basic things is a challenge for you, maybe a part of your inner child needs to feel some sense of reward from you. So be a parent to yourself and say, hey, good job for making the bed. Even though that's a very simple thing, right? Hey, good job for opening this book and reading 10 pages. And you'll see that you start to build your self-esteem and your what is it? Your whatever to yourself.
Your relationship with you.
Yeah, there's a word I'm looking for, but I can't think of it right now.
And it's okay. You will fall off. Also rewarding yourself, like you said. Like for me, I was talking to my sister and she was like, who goes to eat lunch and dinner by themselves? I'm like, me.
Me?
I do that. I love doing that. I used to actually go and listen to podcasts, but then I learned that if I'm gonna go to lunch or dinner by myself, I like to just be and just enjoy the moment.
You should actually, because when you're using something else to distract you, it's like you still can't be with yourself.
Yeah.
You should be able to eat, enjoy your food, no pacifier needed,
Yeah.
no security blanket,
Yeah.
and then you really know like
Yeah.
we're onto something here.
Yeah. I'm starting to do that too. Like when I used to go in with my headphones on
Yeah.
to everywhere. Like, yo, nobody talk to me. I'm just gonna go get whatever the hell I'm gonna get and I'm
Yeah.
out. I stopped doing that. I'm more like talkative with people now.
That's
So
like
that's
build
what
relationships.
My goal and my what's driving me is I need to be more outgoing towards strangers because people see me and they're like, oh, fucking angry bald headed big guy.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what you think. But you
I'm
do
pretty
have
sure
you
that's
do
what
have
they
like
say
you
because
do
I'm be like
have-
this.
you kind of have like walls up.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say you're angry. You're just guarded. Because when I first met you last year, I was trying to be like nice and friendly, and you were like, "Yeah, ugh, ugh." And I'm like, I can't really get in there, but okay, whatever. I'm still gonna try.
Yeah. And look at you now.
So now it's like now I'm trying to be more outgoing. Like I'll talk to whoever's shaking up my paint. Be like, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah,
You know,
I
Maybe-
love doing that.
Maybe you should read a book
but I'm not in the
on
mood for
being
that.
more outgoing.
yeah, I should.
That's what what's his name Marcus was saying. If you have an issue happening in your life, find a book. Somebody went through that
Yeah,
and they overcame it. And they wrote a book about it. So why not speed up the process and just find a book on how to be more approachable?
I'm waiting on Sam Bankman-Fried's book. He was like that. He was so sheltered, and then he became a billionaire, and then he lost it all.
Dang. Yeah.
yeah.
So there we go. That's a hack, bro. That's a life hack.
Yeah, but I'm doing it.
But you're
though.
good. You're getting better, I think.
I'm doing it though because I'm like, yo, you know, if I'm a pick at this coal market, I gotta get better at being,
You got to.
you know what I'm saying, more friendlier, more outgoing, and like when I'm terrified
Yeah.
Trust
of
me, I
talking,
get it.
like when we went to DC and you were like, all right, well then why don't you do it? Why don't? And I deflected, and I was like, well, you're the OG here. Why don't you do it? And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I didn't do it because I was terrified.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I started
Yeah.
sweating and shit.
But sometimes, like, I go through things where at times people are like, wow, yeah, your personality, you're not shy about anything. And then other times I'm like, I really want to say something, but I stop myself. And I'm
Fear.
like, damn, I wish I would have just said that. You know?
And
then
that's when you got to do it.
And then some things, I wish I wouldn't have said that. I'm like, yo, chill. That did not come out how I intended in my brain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just a little every day. It's
But you're
like
aware, though.
one day at a
You're
time.
aware.
Yeah.
You're aware. And that's the most important thing. 5 minutes. The most important thing is being aware. Like, when you are like in fear and say, dang, I'm going to do this, but pull yourself and do it. Pull yourself and do it. Just do it. And then, like, for example, so I went into this restaurant in Tyson's, and I see everybody smiling. Like, everybody that works there smiling. You don't see that these days.
No, you don't.
They're
Everybody
all
looks so miserable.
happy. I was like,
What's the name of this restaurant?
I went to Lowe's this morning. It was, mind you, it was like 6:50, yeah, it was like
In the morning?
6:45, 6:50.
yeah,
And the dude that was, cause I like to order my stuff online
Yeah.
and then just pick it up.
yeah.
So Lowe's is pretty good at that.
Yeah.
I was
Home
going to say Home Depot.
Nah.
They're
Just
like,
go
oh, we're
with
going to pull
yourself.
it now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So the dude was just like, didn't even say good morning.
Yeah.
I was like, you good, bro? And he was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm like, good morning, man.
Maybe he was
Yeah.
tired.
Maybe.
Or going through something.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Put a smile on your face.
Yeah.
And I kind of smiled like this.
Yeah.
Just messing with him, right?
Yeah.
And then he just, laughed. He was like, yeah, it's early in the morning. And he's like, my boss is a bitch.
Yo, that's funny. So I
And
walked
then-
in there. Oh, my bad.
No, and then we both laughed. And it was like,
Boom.
maybe
You
that
changed his
made his
mood.
day. Maybe
Yeah,
that made
you
his
Yeah.
started
day.
off his day good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I walk in this restaurant, right, when we're almost done. And everybody was in good mood. Everybody. And it's right next to Mod Pizza. It's like honey something.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
In the corner.
Yeah. And everyone. So I eat and I'm just watching everybody. I was like, I need to get somebody's number here. I need to.
They
I need
must
a
pay them
network.
good.
I need a networking. And all Latinos. And I go at the end and I was like, excuse me, ¿puedo hablar con el manager, por favor? Everybody was like, yo, what happened? They were still smiling, but they were like,
They're like, "Oh,
on,
no."
on alert. And then the lady comes and I was like, hey, are you the manager here? And she was like, yeah, I am. And I was like, I just want to say that I had an amazing experience since I walked in. I walk in, she's smiling, he's smiling, everybody's smiling, asking me if I need help. I haven't been to a place like this in a very long time. And I want to say that you guys are doing a great thing. And are you the main manager here? She was like, yes. And I was like, you know what that is? Because of you.
Yeah.
Because you're leading. They're like that because of you. And I want to say, great job. Keep
And
doing
give
what
me
you're
your phone
doing.
number.
And then I talked to her. I talked to her about, and she was like, you know what? Just give me your number. I was like, yeah, I'll text it to you. And she was like, no, just give me your number. And then I was like, she said no, and I still give her my number. She never messaged me. I went today, but she wasn't there. But it's like that fear. And so what?
No, yeah, everything's practice.
So what? So what?
Yeah.
I think
A lot of people. My fault. Go ahead.
No. It's good when you say that because you make other people feel really good about their efforts and themselves.
Yeah. And it was genuine.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Gotta be genuine.
I was just about to say, like, I think people are scared of rejection.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
am.
normal. Especially men. That's what they say. Men are, because they usually approach women and that kind of thing. And when you reject them enough, they're not gonna like keep trying. But everybody, I
Not
feel,
me.
is it's just human nature.
Yeah.
It's kind of like our brain's like, okay, take a hint, move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we've been at it. Hey, time goes by fast.
Yeah,
man.
it went by quick.
Time goes fast when you're having fun.
And you didn't yawn.
Yeah, I yawned.
Oh,
a little bit.
no one yawned.
I kind of yawned a little bit. I
Oh,
was like, yeah.
you got to do some push-ups.
No, last week she was like she was having a stroke trying not to yawn.
Yeah.
Well, please hit that like and subscribe button because we are very grateful that you tune in and we want to keep growing.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. We want to. We're working on bringing more value and having just being able to help anybody. Like I was having a conversation with a friend today, and it doesn't matter if you feel like you're not bringing value. If you're helping one person, just one person, get a little bit better or have a little bit of better, like more hope in anything, guess what? We're doing something. So by you liking, commenting, sharing, someone is going to get value out of this. And don't forget, read books. They are a hack to life.
Get uncomfortable.
Yep. Get uncomfortable, man. Stop being a little bitch.
And don't forget to subscribe. Don't be a little bitch about that.
Hit like, subscribe,
Share.
all that, and share.
Oh, my God.
Sharing is caring.
Yep.